today I'm going to talk about the 5 things I had to stop doing in order to start losing weight. So thing number 1 I stopped doing was hanging around bad influences. I cut out family, friends, coworkers, social media influencers. Everybody that was a bad influence that didn't make me feel good or that gave me negative traits just from hanging around them, I started to either cut out completely, which ruffled a few feathers, but hey, now I'm here, I lost the weight, I'm feeling good, they're still fat and unhappy. So I ruffled a few feathers by cutting people out or by limiting my time with them and only seeing, certain family on special occasions and things like that. And this is so important because you are a sum of the top 5 people you spend the most time with. So think about the people you spend the most time with. Do they have health that you aspire to have? Do they have the body that you would want? Do they have the habits that you would want? Do they have the mindset that you would want? Do they talk positively like you want? If the top 5 people you spend the most time with are not good influences for your health, you need to limit your time with them immediately. It will be the single most detrimental thing to your weight loss journey if you stay around them for too long. So limit your exposure to bad influences and or increase your exposure to good influences so you outweigh the negative. Thing number 2 I had to stop doing was being stuck in a victim mentality. Now this is probably gonna upset some people because it's not the nicest thing to hear, but it is super, super essential and it took my results to the next level. And what I would often do is blame my circumstances, blame people, make excuses as to why I wasn't where I want to be. I blame my husband for always ordering takeout and I was tempted and I would cave in. You'd blame your hypothyroidism for why you can't lose weight. And regardless of if these complaints and excuses and blaming was true, regardless of if it was true, what I started to do was say, okay, how is it my fault? Even if it wasn't my fault at all, I started to make it my fault. Because only when it is your fault do you have complete control and power to make a lasting change. If something else is responsible for you being where you are, then that is the thing that's gonna have to change. But if it's not you, you have zero control over it. So start taking the blame and responsibility for everything. Don't be stuck in that victim mindset. And let me tell you, as soon as I accepted the responsibility for everything is my fault, there was like a weight lifted off my shoulder. It was so freeing and it takes so much pressure off because now you're like, no, I am where I am because of me. You are where you are because of you. And that means if you don't like where you are, you can change it. And how exciting is that? So get out of the victim mentality, victim mindset, see what you've been blaming, complaining about, making excuses about, and turn it over to you. And so you can have your control back and start to make an actual positive step forward. The third thing that I had to stop doing in order to start losing weight was stop being so damn hard on myself. And I bet every woman listening to this can totally relate to this. Every time I would mess up, I would just beat myself up. I'm a loser, I suck, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? I'm never gonna be able to do this. And let me tell you, it already feels bad to mess up. But then when you feel bad about feeling bad, it's like this endless cycle that you get stuck in. And let me tell you, it is so unnecessary. I had to stop being so hard on myself and making myself feel so guilty all the time because it does not help. It doesn't make me get back on track faster. It doesn't give me a clear path on how to do better next time. Feeling guilty and bad did absolutely nothing to help me with my progress. So what you have to do is stop feeling guilty. You are human. And I give you permission to mess up. In fact, if you look at your track record, it's very likely that you will fail again in the future based on what you've done in the past. So you can't feel bad every time you mess up. When you mess up, it's a learning experience. You are not perfect. You are not an expert. Have you put in enough time on this thing to be an expert? And the answer is no, right? How do you think you become a Kung Fu master? Tens of thousands of hours. So it's not that you suck, it's just that you haven't practiced enough. So be easy on yourself. And a quick tip to stop making yourself feel so guilty would be when you do feel that you're being down on yourself and you're putting yourself kind of in this negative cloud, ask yourself, Emma, is it okay to feel these emotions? Usually yes. Should I feel these emotions for much longer? No. How am I going to get out of these emotions? Well, I'm going to take an action. Action and action, even the smallest of actions where you're crawling, you don't have to sprint right away. The smallest of actions, I guarantee you, will start to decrease those negative feelings immediately, because now you no longer think, oh, I'm the person that keeps failing. You think, no, I am the person that keeps trying. And that is a huge, huge beneficial mindset shift. The next thing I had to stop doing in order to start losing weight was stop rushing my results. I would always do what I call weight loss math in my head. So it would look like, if I lose 2 pounds for 10 weeks straight, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds, right? But I guarantee you, every time that timeline came, that 20 weeks or that 10 weeks came, I was nowhere near the goal I set for myself, because I never thought past my goal. I never thought about what happens once I reach my goal. How do I make sure that I stay there and I'm a changed person and my lifestyle is changed and the old me doesn't have such a hold on me that the second things don't go according to plan or I'm tempted, I cave. And I never thought that way, right? If I told you, I'm gonna help you lose 30 pounds in 30 days, you're probably gonna get really overwhelmed and think that's not gonna happen, so you're not even gonna wanna start, right? But if I told you, okay, we're gonna lose 30 pounds in a year, that is so doable. That is more than enough time to get that goal, and there's no pressure of even failing because that's totally doable. So you have to expand your timeline. Stop rushing the results, expand your timeline, and make sure that timeline extends past your goal. How do I make sure I keep my goal? Because I've lost weight, I've gained, I've lost, I've gained, I've lost, I've gained, I've lost, like over 10 times trying to get to where I am today and sustain where I am today, because I would always go into it just thinking about my first goal. And that first goal can definitely be achieved fast, right? Fast results is important for motivation in the beginning, absolutely, but you need to think about and extend your timeline of your whole journey. That is something that's really helped me. I stopped rushing my results, okay? I expanded my entire journey timeline, so that way I didn't just say, oh, I'm here, and then I don't have a plan B for once I do reach my goal. Now, the last thing that I had to stop doing in order to lose weight was stop being a slave to the scale, okay? Now, the scale is not a thing that's gonna tell you you're worthy, you're not worthy. It's not something that tells you you're being good, you're being bad. It is not something that tells you you're failing, you'll never reach your goal, or you're on track. That is not what the scale is for. As a coach, the scale is a piece of data that I need to see, okay, is this working or not? How do we adjust going forward? That is all that the scale is, and for so long, the number on the scale controlled me. I either avoided it completely because I didn't want to feel like shit about myself, or I used it to celebrate and reward myself for good numbers. And here's what you need to know about the scale. If it elicits an emotion from you, so if you step on the scale and it makes you sad or happy, it has control. It has power over you. And how dare you give an inanimate object power over your well-being? It is just a piece of machinery. It means nothing except something to your coach. And that is all that it is, a piece of data. And the second I let go, the second I stopped being afraid to weigh myself, and the second I stopped reacting to the number, I realized, oh my goodness, it was freeing. There was a weight lifted off my shoulders. And on top of that, I was able to spot my progress in so many different areas. I realized how quickly I was progressing in how I thought, in how I talked about myself, in my inches fitting into clothes, how I looked in pictures, the influence I was having on my husband in my life, that my family members were starting to get healthy. It's just when that thing is not the be all end all, you it's kind of like taking blinders off and you realize, or it's like being colorblind and then putting your colorblind glasses on and seeing all the beautiful colors you've been missing out on. By being so narrow-minded and focused on the scale, we miss out on all the other beautiful things that are gonna happen on your journey. And on top of that, you've never really become healthy, because it doesn't matter if that number drops on the scale. If you're obsessed with it, that's not healthy. Obsession is not healthy. So it doesn't matter if you're a healthy weight, mentally you're not healthy. So it defeats the whole purpose of your journey in the first place. And let me tell you, you will always bounce back to where you plateau mentally. So you can be super motivated and lose a ton of weight, but if you haven't grown mentally as you lost that weight, you will go right back to the weight you were when you stopped growing mentally, which is absolutely crazy. And that's why it's so important to really pay attention to what you would, how your relationship with the scale is. and start talking to yourself before you jump on the scale. And in the beginning, that's what I had to do. I had to start talking to myself. I would say, this number is just a piece of data. It does not determine if I'm gonna reach my goal or not. It is something that I need to do in order to make the right next move. And that's how I want you to start thinking about your scale. So thanks so much for listening. That's 5 things that I had to stop doing in order to start losing weight. These are things that you can all implement immediately and start to shift your perspective and shift your environment to fast track the results, get unstuck, and feel like you can actually do this for once. So definitely, if you liked it, comment, like, subscribe, let me know how you liked it. If you are curious about the Fit Queen lifestyle, the Fit Queen ways of losing weight, I've been on my own weight loss journey. I've lost 70 pounds myself. I have helped thousands of other women do the same. I've owned my own fitness facility, and I've built out a program in the description below, and it's gonna be the thing that kickstarts what you need. It's gonna be the thing that gets you unstuck. So click that down below if you're looking to lose weight, tone up, regain control of your health, and reclaim your body. I will see you next time.